The diplomatic incident started with a single glove. Lieutenant Craxtor of the Hegemony Honor Guard had been reaching for his ceremonial weapon when the creature struck. A blur of midnight fur and crystalline teeth that clamped onto his armored glove with enough force to dent the military-grade composite. It was a Voidstalker cub, 6 months old, and already the size of small spacecraft. Even juvenile, it was death incarnate, a species so dangerous that most systems had shoot-on-sight protocols for adults. Its teeth, designed to pierce starship hulls, had locked on a Craxtor's arm and were slowly crushing through his armor. "Don't move," Commander Vex shouted at the paralyzed lieutenant. "Any sudden motion triggers their killing instinct." The Galactic Council's emergency meeting had gone into immediate lockdown. 40 species representatives pressed against the walls, as far from the creature as possible. The Voidstalker had somehow escaped from the xenobiology demonstration, and now a diplomatic guard was about to lose his arm, if he was lucky. "Emergency protocols?" the council chairman whispered. "Lethal force," Security Chief Thymar responded, raising his plasma rifle. "It's the only—" "Drop it." The voice was calm, conversational. Not shouted, not commanded, just stated like someone talking to a misbehaving pet. Everyone turned to see Specialist Hannah Rodriguez from Earth's diplomatic team, walking toward the Voidstalker with her hands in her pockets. No automat, no weapons, no apparent concern that she was approaching a creature that could bite through a blast door. The Voidstalker's red eyes tracked her movement, but its jaw remained locked on Craxtor's arm. "I said drop it," Hannah repeated, stopping 3 feet from the creature. She pulled one hand from her pocket, pointing at the floor. "Drop." The Voidstalker's ears, if the sensory organs could be called that, flattened against its skull. A sound emerged from its throat that no one had ever heard from the species before, a whine. High-pitched, almost apologetic. Its jaws released. The armored glove fell to the floor with a clang. The creature sat down, still whining, its tail, a appendage covered in razor-sharp scales, tucked beneath its body. "Good boy," Hannah said, reaching out a scratch behind its ears. The Voidstalker, the nightmare of 17 systems, leaned into her touch like a house cat. The silence in the council chamber was deafening. "Ow!" Vex finally managed, his voice barely a whisper. Hannah shrugged, still petting the creature. "Basic training. Sit, stay, drop it. The fundamentals work on most pack predators." "That's a Voidstalker," Thymar shrieked. "They don't have pack instincts. They're solitary apex predators that hunt by dimensional phasing. They eat dark matter. They also respond to consistent boundaries and positive reinforcement," Hannah said. She looked at the cub sternly. "What do we say about biting?" The Voidstalker lowered its head, managing to look embarrassed despite having a face designed for terror. "No treats for a week," she continued. The whining intensified. Chairman Zilthor found his voice. "You trained it? When? How?" 3 weeks ago when it first escaped, Hannah admitted. "Found it in the kitchen, trying to eat the refrigeration unit. Took about 6 hours to establish dominance. Not through force, just consistency." No means no. Drop it means drop it. Simple commands, immediate consequences or rewards. She pulled something from her pocket, what looked like a ball of condensed energy. The Voidstalker's entire demeanor changed, suddenly alert and eager. "But you said no treats," Lieutenant Craxtor said, cradling his dented but intact arm. "I did, and he'll learn." Hannah put the treat back in her pocket. The Voidstalker's whine could have shattered glass. "Tomorrow, if he behaves, he gets double treats. But actions have consequences." The security chief lowered his weapon slowly. "You're teaching a Voidstalker delayed gratification? Already learned it. Watch this." Hannah pointed to a corner. "Time out. 5 minutes." The creature that could phase through dimensions, that hunted by sliding between reality, trudged to the corner and sat facing the wall. "Humans domesticated wolves," Hannah explained to the stunned assembly. "Turned apex predators into companions through patience and consistency. Every predator, no matter how dangerous, understands fairness and routine. You just have to speak their language." "Their language is death," Vex protested. Hannah smiled. "No, that's their capability. Their language? It's the same as every young creature's. They want structure, affection, and to know their place in the pack. The Void Stalker remained in the corner, occasionally sighing dramatically. The council voted unanimously to hire Hannah as their Xenofauna behavioral specialist. Her first rule: stop being afraid. They can smell it, and it makes you smell like prey.